Hey y'all, it's Stephen Van Kampen-Lewis, and today I want to do a quick video about the Rupiculous Cattleya that I have and give a quick update on what they look like, their status, their health, and some blooms actually. I am excited to show you, well honestly, I'm ready to say that my experiment with this group is officially a success. And I think I've got a pretty good idea of what they like, what they need, how they want to grow, and I'll show that to you today. That said, I've only been growing this group for about a year. I have a mix of plants that I imported from Brazil, or actually I should say that I purchased from Francisco Miranda, who imported them, as well as Floralia, who imported them. And then I also have some that are from the United States, or at least have been in the United States for a long time. So I'll quickly show you those. Typically I like to talk about things that I've been doing for a long time. That said, I've been growing Cattleyas for close to 35 years. But this particular group of terrestrials that you can see here behind me, again, that's a newer venture for me, especially in this cabinet here. But when I was in Brazil last year in their habitat, checking them out, they really grew on me. And at that time, this cabinet was just too hot and bright for the Phalaenopsis that I had grown in there. And so I was looking for a new group of small plants, which again, you can see here, these are pretty small, that would do well in these particular conditions. So without getting too off the rails here, let's turn the camera around and check out some plants, some roots, and some blooms. All right, this is the first cabinet that I set up, and this is where I keep most of the Rupiculous Cattleyas. And then I have one over there blooming right there, only because the bloom spike is too tall for this particular setup, but it grows in here. So let's take a look at these, and then I'll show you the blooms on that other one. So as you can see, this cabinet is broken into two sections, and this section here is a little taller, but not much. And just for size reference, you can see my hand here. This is how tall things are. So not much room between the top of the plants and the light. And then down here is, like I said, a little taller, but not a whole lot. But the cool thing about this experiment and this particular setup is that I have tons of space left to add new plants. So I kind of did a few things. I've got some Restrepias over here, and they're doing okay. I've got Kampen-Lewis here that's doing all right. But the Rupiculous Cattleyas just seem to really, really like these conditions. And these conditions are hot. It's up to about 90 degrees every single day. And, crazy bright lights, just blasting everything with strong light. And that's how they grow in the wild. As you can see here, these were growing on rocks in full sun with zero shade for the most part. And they love it. And then as you can see here in this video, they're growing on top of rocks with maybe, an inch or two at most of sand. So it's hard bedrock, sand, and full sun. So for whatever reason, I guess that's the conditions I have here. And I actually want to start out with, this is my ugliest one. This is a Cattleya milleri that I got before I went to Brazil. And it's doing better now. And now that I know how to care for it, it almost died. And you can see that these marks here, those were left by spider mites. And I've repotted it. I've added a little more media in there. And then there's this big fat new growth growing in right here. And so this will be a bright red one. And this is, like I said, before I visited the habitat and saw what they liked. And now that I know what they like, it's bouncing back really nicely. And this is the same species that I purchased after I visited Brazil. And as you can see, it's very happy. Lots of roots. You know, really good color on the leaves. Lots of roots, new growths. I fully anticipate that this one will bloom in the near future. So this is sort of typical of how I grow, which is in these clay pots, and then I use almost all sand, just sort of play sand, with a little bit of peat mixed in, just for a little organic material, and then I water this whole setup. I drench these guys 3 days a week with pure water and a very sort of mild solution of fertilizer from First Rays Orchids. K-Lite is what I'm using. Let me move these Cattleya Rex out of the way so that we can really focus on the Rupiculous ones. And actually, I'm going to go straight to this one because this is new for me. Here's a bud. So this is Cattleyana, and you can see how dark red these are. This is the only one with moss growing on top, so I don't know what to think of that. I need to actually reach out to Francisco to see if this is something that could smother the Laelia or not. I suspect it's fine, but I don't know. I don't know if the moss is a weed. What do y'all think? Is this going to hurt my plants? I suspect not, but who knows? I hope not, because getting rid of that would be difficult. Anyway, you can see the bud here. I'm excited to see this one. This is one that I got from Floralia earlier this year. I think I got it from Floralia in January of 2025. So this one probably thinks that it's just coming out of winter and is blooming. But you can see what the blooms here look like from just a quick internet search. So I'm excited to see this one. That one should be really cool. This root monster here is Laelia bradii. Excuse me, Cattleya bradii. And this is an import that I got from Francisco about a year ago and is just really taken off. So these are the growths from the old grower, whoever was growing them in Brazil. And these newer sort of brighter green ones are the ones that I grew. And of course, these roots I get to claim credit for. And then it had its first bloom earlier this year, and you can see the spent spike. And here's a photo of the flower itself. It's very small, bright yellow, and just really cool looking. And it bloomed a couple months ago. You can see the side lobes are open and they're a little wonky. So, we typically expect first blooms to be odd looking, and this was no exception. Hopefully that flower shape, I guess, will tighten up a bit on the next bloom. So here's Angereri. Similarly happy. Move this here out of the way. You can see a sheath has formed in that growth that I just sort of moved the dead sheath out. Hopefully that'll bloom soon. That would be great. One of the cool things about some of these species is just how red they get. And you can see these older growths are bright red, and then the newer growth, which has gotten much smaller, which is perfect, has gotten bright red as well. So you can see a big green root tip there popping out, climbing up the back of the pot like this bradii, and it looks pretty good. Gillany here, looking great as well. Several new growths that have matured here, as well as this new little one that's coming out here, and this new maturing growth here. So looks really happy again from Francisco Miranda. Let's jump to my failure. I got this from Floralia in January, and this is Esqualiana. That one's toast. I would say that I could probably throw this one away. Not really sure what happened there, unfortunately, but I guess you can't win them all. So, in fact, I'm just going to put this on top of the enclosure here and take it to the compost pile. Ketiana, another really small one that has put out a bunch of new growth since I got it from Floralia, and some new growth. So this one, and this one is new. And this one's real small, not sure what happened there, but you can see the roots are extending. I suspect that as these root systems get larger and larger, the plants themselves, the new growths will get larger and larger also. Itambana, similarly looking great. Big new roots growing and some nice dark red coloration on those leaves there. So that's an indication that these are doing really well. This one is, I got this from my friend Susan here in the San Antonio area. This is Insfeldii. And I haven't seen this one bloom yet, but I've seen photos and it is just a stunning flower. And then this plant itself is super robust and healthy and should give me a ton of blooms on the next go round. I suspect that will be soon. I've got a synchron in the back, and maybe I'll do a feature on that one at some point. All right, so let's go to the lower level. And I got this from my friend Jay Balchan. This is Laelia sanguiloba. This is an awarded plant, a division of an awarded plant called Orchid Eros. It got an AM. And of course, Orchid Eros is owned by Ben Oliveros in Hawaii. And you can see this one's doing really nicely also. This is one where I'm experimenting with the media to see if sort of horticultural sand, which is a coarser sand or really just small pebbles, is going to do better or worse than the play sand. We'll see. Lots of root tips there. You can see new growth is a little small, but it's a division with a one back bulb piece. So that new division, that new growth is expected to be a little small. I got a little scale there. Just pop that off. And then Rupiculous, similarly doing just fine. I got this from Floralia. You can see that it's gotten hit by mites here a little bit. I sprayed this with horticultural soap not too long ago, and it generally knocks the mites back quite a bit for 3 to 4 months. So that one should be fine. And then there are a couple species of epiphytic Rupiculous Cattleyas, and of course can't really be epiphytic and Rupiculous, but they're all in the same group. And I got this from this is Marsaliana, and I actually got this from a grower that I wasn't familiar with, Bitis Botanical in Columbia, South Carolina. Really cool. They had some really cool stuff. So I encourage everyone to check them out and see if you're interested in stuff like this. I think they had some more of these. So, and then this is Harpophylla I got from Floralia, and you can see the roots are just going crazy. Both of these epiphytic species have bright orange flowers. So these will be really cool to see, just vividly orange, and I'm excited to check them out. All right, so let's take a look at Mixa, which is over in the other cabinet and is actually a division of an awarded plant. All right, so this is Mixa, Mixta. Similarly, just growing like crazy. Really loving these conditions. And like I said, this one actually grows in the other cabinet, but the sheer length of the spike means that I had to bring it over here. Let me just turn this around so that we can get a shot of this. But it's just a really pretty flower. No crazy colors, not like Dowiana or some of these semi-alba large Cattleyas. Just really pretty, really intense orange. I hope that's picked up in the shot. And the buds are this really nice, attractive red color, and just beautiful, absolutely. And when you kind of zoom in like this, you can see the the lines there on the side lobes and also on the petals and sepals. There's lots of ruffles there in the lip, and they're just teeny. Very, very cool, very cute little things. And you know, I think the only downside to this group is that they're not fragrant. I wish these were fragrant. But you can see this one, as it's opening, has a little extra pop of orange there. I'm not sure if that's because it just opened. I suspect that's the case, as those buds kind of go from the bright red or pink that you can see, especially on these ones that are just right under the light. And then as the flower opens up, it kind of has this orange hue, or I guess it's sort of pink on top of yellow, and then the plant itself, or the flower itself rather, becomes more yellow, as you can see with this one. And just really neat. And you can see that, like I mentioned, this has a long spike. It's probably, I would say it's close to 1.5 feet long. But some of these have really long spikes like that, but then a lot of them don't. So like that bradii that I showed you earlier just has almost no inflorescence at all. It's just right sitting on top of the leaves there and doesn't really extend up at all. And then you have these other ones, sort of long spike that comes down, and you get cool blooms. Anyway, hope y'all are have a great weekend. See ya.